A real quick video on if your dryer is not starting, what the problems could be. This is not a video for no heat. This is just a video for no start. Meaning if you have the timer set to something that it should be on for, and you press that start button and it's not coming on, this is your video. Now this is for all the dryers that have filters that come out the top right here. If your filter comes out from here, not going to be your video. It's going to be different setup and how the dryer works. Probably is not going to help you as much, but it could. But if you have a dryer filter here, this is probably the video for you. All right, first thing to check, really easy, really common. Open the door. This is a lid switch right here. And when you press it, you'll hear a noise. Hopefully you can hear this. If it's clicking, it's usually always good. If it's not clicking, or if it's dangling and you can press it and it wiggles around, or it's just straight up broken off, it's bad. And what it's done is it thinks the door is open all the time. So if you had the door open and you press a button while it's powered up, obviously it's not going to come on. That's what it thinks. It just thinks the door's open. So that's first thing to check. Next thing to check is make sure your breaker is not thrown. If the breaker for the dryer is thrown, then it could be several things. Could be a wiring problem, could be all kinds of things with your actual house power. But sometimes they just throw, sometimes breakers just go bad. But that would be the next thing I would check. The next thing after that would be take the back off. This is the back. There'll be screws all the way around the frame. Just take them off real easy. I have the cord off. This is all unplugged. Be sure it's unplugged. It's 220. I don't want to mess around with this. This fuse right here. This will, if this goes out, it will not start with the start button. If it goes out, this is a thermal fuse. It goes off from a certain temperature going by. It means it overheated, or the fuse itself just got old and failed early, which doesn't happen very often. It probably overheated. More than likely, why it overheated was lack of airflow from being stopped up somewhere. Usually it's from the dryer out, meaning outside the wall, wherever you're running your hose to. Sometimes there'll be a vent cover that will be stuck down outside or not opening all the way up. And it's not allowing the dryer to heat up, or it does allow the dryer to heat up, but not vent out fast enough to get the heat out fast enough. It's kind of similar if you were to take a hair dryer and put your hand over the end of it. The hair dryer would get really hot. Same thing happens with the dryer. It can't breathe fast enough. It overheats. The next place to check, which I would check since you already have it this far apart anyway, there's two screws when you pull the lint trap out. That's right underneath the lint trap. I'll show you real quick. Right here. There and there. Pull those two screws out. The next two, or there's four here. There's one here, one here, one here, one here. Then this whole piece of metal is going to come out real easily. Some of the very old dryers used to have a bar that went across here, and it's really a pain to get it out after that. If you have that type of dryer, you might look at another video because it's a lot easier if you take the drum out to get that out. But most newer dryers don't have that big piece of metal that goes across anymore. But most of the time, why this gets messed up or in full of lint is someone takes the filter out while the machine is running, and it sucks lint into the fan housing right here, and it just fills up and the fan can't breathe anymore, and it will overheat. So take this off, make sure right here this area is completely clean of lint. And usually when it does that, right here where it sucks through the wall into the drum, that will usually be all clogged up with lint as well. But that would be the next thing to check. So don't just replace this guy and turn it on and hope for the best, because it's probably going to do the exact same thing. To test that, if you take a regular tester, put it on ohms or a fuse testing setting, meaning it's got a signal running from here to there, and it's listening for that signal. When it hears it, it'll beep. Or if depends on what kind of a tester you have. Sometimes it'll just be a 0 or 1. But it should hear the signal from one to the other when it's tested. I've already replaced this one. That's what was wrong with this dryer. And past that, that's everything you should have to test, except for the thing that's most likely not, which everyone always assumes it's going to be. It's going to be the actual start switch itself. This should be the last thing you check. They don't go out very often. They do go out, but not very often. check that. It's very similar to that fuse. You probably have to have 2 people there. Someone hold the 2 wires on it and press the button, and it should beep as you press the button. Very unlikely it's that. One other thing it could be is there will usually be a cover over this. Most people don't pull that cover off. They'll just unplug it and never look underneath here. This is where the actual plug, let's see, here's a gray plug. That's where the actual plug would be, right there, and be attached here to these 3 screws. Sometimes one of these screws will be very, very loose. It'll arc constantly, messing up, burning up the wire, and it will just be a burned up wire, but you'll never know because it'll be hidden behind a cover right here, and you'll be playing with all this stuff, and it'll just be a burned up wire, which is not extremely uncommon. I see it a lot, but I see more of the stopped up dryer symptom from this fuse being the main culprit behind most of the dryers not starting. But that's it, guys. That was everything for a no start Whirlpool style dryer, Whirlpool Kenmore Estate, Crosley, any of the dryers that have the filter that come out the top all kind of work the same. If you guys have any questions, please put them in the comments down below and I'll try to answer them. And please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel.